What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here, and we had some pretty big comic book related news come out of Marvel this week. It was actually leaked and then officially released a little bit later by Marvel, and actually went trending on Twitter. Which, if y'all know, comic book related news doesn't tend to trend on Twitter. Usually, it's stuff related to castings in the MCU or movie related news. Stuff about comic books doesn't tend to trend on Twitter, so it was a pretty big deal yesterday and kind of shook up the comic book world in relation to Amazing Spider-Man number 26, which is coming up here soon. Before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book talk and fandom related content. And a warning, obviously this video is going to contain spoilers for Amazing Spider-Man issue number 26. So if you wanted to go in completely blind, knowing nothing at all, then do not watch this video. Although Marvel officially released all of this information yesterday, so it's not really a spoiler since it wasn't an official release. But if you wanted to go in completely blind, knowing nothing at all, which is going to be very hard to do since it was an official release, then do not watch this video because we are going to be talking spoilers for the next issue. So obviously, the biggest story coming out of the comic book world this week is surrounding Amazing Spider-Man issue number 26, which we've been talking about this issue now for so long. It's been Marvel's been hyping this thing up leading up to this issue coming up here in the next couple of weeks, to the point where it's almost gotten kind of annoying. They've really been hyping this thing up, saying it's the most shocking issue of Amazing Spider-Man in 50 years, which would be since the death of Gwen Stacy in 1973. It's going to be something that's going to, completely change Amazing Spider-Man. And, well, we got that information through a leak. There was a couple of leaks. I'm not sure who leaked it first, but shortly after it was leaked, it was then officially released by Entertainment Weekly, and then Marvel put it on their own platforms shortly after that. But we got the information of who is dying in Amazing Spider-Man number 26, and it is Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. That's right. The most shocking thing to happen to Amazing Spider-Man in 50 years since the death of Gwen Stacy is that Miss Marvel is dying. How does somebody tell me how that makes sense? Miss Marvel has probably appeared in what, 4 or 5 issues of this run of Amazing Spider-Man, the past 25 issues of this new run of Amazing Spider-Man. She's had a very small role in this whole overarching story, and they've been hyping this thing up that it's going to be Mary Jane or somebody close to Spider-Man that's going to be dying. Uh, and it turns out that it's going to be Miss Marvel Kamala Khan, who is the one that's going to be ending up dying. How is that the most shocking thing in 50 years? Like, I like Miss Marvel. I think she's a really great character. But in regard to Amazing Spider Man, she doesn't really have that big of an impact in his life. You would think that if they're going to do something shocking or something that's going to be so impactful to Amazing Spider Man, they would kill someone that has some sort of relevance to his life or even has been in the story more. The Fantastic Four has been in the story just about as long as Miss Marvel has. And so it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why aren't, I mean, obviously I figured that Marvel doesn't have the stones to actually kill Mary Jane, such a popular and iconic character. But I don't know, I kind of hoped that they would do something like that. But even if they didn't, you would think they would kill off somebody that is at least tangentially related to Spider-Man, like Black Cat Felicia, maybe kill off Harry or Norman, or um maybe kill off I don't know, anybody else. Like, this would be like them killing off Johnny Storm, who they just fought at the end of issue number 25, Spider-Man and Johnny Storm, because he got into a little thing with the Fantastic Four in the last issue, because of what he did in previous issues. Like, this, it just doesn't make sense to me. Well, actually, it does make sense to me, but it's stupid. It's so dumb. I really hate this run of Amazing Spider-Man, And I'm glad that this little arc that they've been doing with Paul and Mary Jane, is coming to an end soon. So basically, what's happening is Miss Marvel is going to be dying. I guess she's going to be doing some heroic sacrifice. I don't know. I guess we'll see in the upcoming issue. And Marvel is actually planning on. There's been rumors that Marvel's planning on making the comic book version of Kamala Khan more like the MCU, the movie version of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. And so, what a lot of people think is going to happen is that they're killing her off here, and then they're also making a little one-shot book, according to more leaks, that it's going to be called "Fallen Friend: The Death of Miss Marvel," which is going to be written by the original writer and creator of Miss Marvel, G. Willow Wilson, and also Saladin Ahmed, who is another writer, longtime writer of Miss Marvel, and then also Mark Waid, who is a pretty established writer in the comic book world, obviously, if you know. So these three are going to be writing this little one shot about the death of Miss Marvel after this issue comes out. And so, what a lot of people think is they're killing her now, and then they're going to probably bring her back closer to when the movie comes out, and then bring her back, resurrect her with her powers to be more like they are in the MCU or the movies, and then also, in the comics she's an Inhuman, and but a lot of people think in the movies they're gonna resurrect her as a mutant, or in the comics they're gonna resurrect her as a mutant to kind of make her more fit her Marvel Cinematic Universe counterpart. So it makes sense. The only thing that is dumb is that they're doing it in Amazing Spider-Man number 26. This big issue that was supposed to be, the most shocking thing in Spider-Man history in 50 years. Like, why not give Miss Marvel her own miniseries and really explore her character more in depth before you kill her? Like, there's only gonna be 32 pages in this next issue. That's not enough, and she's only appeared in 4 or 5 issues of this run. That's not enough time to build up to make her sacrifice worth anything, in my opinion. Give her her own 3 or 4 issue miniseries. Really explore her character, get into it, let G. Willow Wilson or Saladin Ahmed really get into the character that they know so well, and then kill her off at the end of that miniseries with this final one shot thing that you want to do. And but have it not related to Spider-Man. Like, why is this related to Spider-Man? What does this have to do with Spider-Man? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me why Miss Marvel is the one that's dying in Spider-Man's book when she has had barely anything to do with this run. So, and Zeb Wells is a writer. He's been writing this run of this particular arc of Amazing Spider-Man, and he's also a writer on the Marvels. So a lot of people think that's another reason why this is happening. They're gonna kill her off here, generate a lot of buzz, bring her back to generate even more buzz right before the movies come out, and have her be more like she is in the movies. So, I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, but do it in her own miniseries. Don't do it in Amazing Spider-Man, because she's had nothing or very little to do in this series. So I feel like even if she has some heroic sacrifice in the number 26, it's not going to be as impactful because she, I don't know, because she hasn't been in it so much. And so, yeah, I don't know. But this whole Zeb Wells run of Amazing Spider-Man 20, or Amazing Spider-Man, y'all know my thoughts on it. We talked about number 25 last week. This whole run has been just so lackluster and mediocre. It really hasn't been good. Marvel comics have been slacking lately. They've been kind of coasting off of past success and putting out a lot of mediocre stuff. They have 10,000 Mar Marvel has 10,000 Venom verse and Venom related uh, comic books coming out. Why not drop one of those? Give Miss Marvel her own miniseries to really explore her character and get into it, and then kill her in that miniseries. That would make a lot more sense and be way more impactful. And then these 10,000 Venom verse uh, miniseries that are coming out, and then let G. Willow Wilson and Saladin Ahmed explore her character, and then have make her have a really big and impactful sacrifice in her story arc. in her own story arc than instead of doing it in Amazing Spider-Man number 26. So this whole thing has just been really dumb. This whole run of Amazing Spider-Man has been really dumb, and I can't wait now that it's finally ending. We're gonna get a conclusion to this whole Mary Jane, Paul, Zeb Wells arc. Even though I think he's still writing it, I think it's just the arc of this whole Paul Mary Jane arc's going to be done. So that's going to be good, and hopefully we move on to something a lot better because this whole thing has just been a mess as of late. So there you have it. Finally, after teasing us for so long, the big reveal of Amazing Spider-Man number 26 is that they're going to be killing Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. What do y'all think of that? And what have y'all thought of the run so far in Amazing Spider-Man? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book talk and fandom related content. And I will see y'all another day.